usually, you know, when I'd be working with my other inferior decks, I would crimp it and go, damn, that's the end of that. You know?
Well, they're made to be in a casino and have drunk people hold them and squeeze them to play cards, right? I mean, and be able to take it for a few hours, right? That's what they're made for. So it's
yeah, exactly.
And you know,
working.
People who are like playing in a casino, they bend them. They like try and, you know, they act like they're someone else's cards, and that just like the free drinks, right? The more of them they wreck, it makes them feel like wrecking the card should come with the losses they're incurring as a free bonus. You know what I mean? What's up, Adam Grace? How are you?
We're just talking a little card magic here today on Conjuror Community. Speaking of which, we want to say welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here with us today for Afternoon Astonishment. I'm Adam Grace here with Aaron Fisher, Alexander Slimmer, Steve Barcelona, all from the Conjuror Community, world's best magic club. So today we are going to look at some of the close-up magic of the great JC Wagner. Do us a favor. Do us a favor, hit the like button and the subscribe button on our channel. You'll be notified when we go live. And now we looked at a little bit of JC Wagner in our last show, but when we decided there was so much good stuff, we wanted to do a little more on JC Wagner, right, Alex?
Yeah, there's so much good JC Wagner magic that it seems like it would be a shame to just leave the rest of it just to the imagination, because, you know, being able to see him do these classic effects the way he does in a bar, it's, you know, it's inspiring. And I think that for me, at least, it opened up a door. I mentioned it last time, that it opened up a door for basically a way that I could see my way into magic, because he was sort of a low-key guy. And I wasn't, in the beginning, it wasn't about performing. I was really fascinated with methods and wanted to have a couple things to impress friends and do things at parties. When I first got into magic, what JC had, that was the style that like fit my personality enough that I found my way into magic and then was able to go beyond that. But it was the way in.
His stuff was accessible. And with Ethan Ross here, you just know there's going to be some beautiful commercial card magic you can learn here. Beautiful stuff.
That's right. That's right. All right. So shall we take a look at our first clip? This is, well, what I have down. You've picked out some good stuff for us, Alex. But let's look at Backfire first as a JC Wagner classic. Backfire. All right, let's check it out. Let me go full screen, full spectrum. Here we go. And I'm going to get it right here in a second. Here we are.
Nice.
Let me know if you can see that. Yeah.
We've made it.
This is kind of a fun one here. It uses the queens for this particular trick. Okay. The ladies. All right. There they happen to be right there. They go down just like so. And also I'm going to utilize some in different cards. 12 to be exact. That's 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, here we go, 10, 11, 12. 12 in different cards. All red. We'll set these over here for the time being. They go here. So the trick really is going to be with the queens, right? And I want you to watch real closely, because I'm going to lay the queens out here for you in a row, like so. And we also place 3 in different cards on the backs of our queens. Just like so. 3 here, and of course 3 more go here. Now the object is to get all of the queens to pass over and join this queen here, hopefully. So this is the first one to go. Watch closely. Remember, 4 cards in the packet to begin with. And we bring the hand over assuming the palm position, which we might have heard a time or two, but just for that second, long enough to where the queen becomes invisible enough.
That was pretty slick, wasn't it?
Leaves you now just 3 cards. In this particular case, no.
And how slick is that?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that again because I missed it too. Watch again. We'll use this one here. Watch. 4 cards again. This is called the flat table palm. Don't spread the fingers, because naturally that's a dead tip off. Keep the hand as flat as possible. If you must show it, briefly show it, but just by pressing like this, leaves you now just for the 3 cards again. Of course, no queen. Isn't this fun? No, it really is, honest to God. Now, the last one's the toughest one to do, right? Because everybody knows exactly what's going to transpire. So magicians for years have been accused of sticking articles up the sleeve. So all we do is do it backhanded, blows that 3 out the back door. Of course, again, it leaves you now just with the 3 cards, and of course, again, no queen. All right. Now, would you think it's a pretty good trick? Heads, tails. Would you think it's a pretty good trick if I was able to show you all 4 queens arriving over here in this last packet?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be 2. That's 1. Let's see if we got it. That's 2. And, of course, that's 3. And, of course, that's 4. Now, somebody said to me, well, JC, that's real good. Could you make them jump back? I said, well, gee, I don't know. I've never tried it, but we'll give it a shot. So I turned the packets over like so, and let's give it a shot. All right? 4 queens. This will be tough to do, but we'll give it a shot anyway. Watch closely. Just a snap. Yeah, that's 1. See, that's his, yep, here we go. That's 2, which leaves me with 2. And the last one's going to be really tough because you guys know what's coming. That's 3. And, of course, over here we now have, that's 1. Over here, which leaves us 2. And, of course, 3. And that makes 4. I don't believe it either. I'll tell you.
Wow.
Pretty great.
You know, and it's not hard stuff. It's not. There's plenty of it. So when Alex was talking about how accessible he felt about this magic, you could get that stuff in your hands. Even when you're just starting out, right? You can learn that magic and you can go through everything and feel yourself improving at it because the sequences aren't really hard to do. But you can see, of course, when you do it like JC does it, it blends into something more than just a bunch of sequences. You get the whole effect. You know, it's beautiful.
I don't look at that though. Like to me, that didn't look like a really easy routine. To me, that looked like a intermediate to pretty advanced routine.
Sure. I would say that a beginner trick, you probably don't want to do more than 1 move. And with that trick, almost every move's a move. There's a lot of counts. And I would say it's more akin to like a dance, right? That whole thing is like just a dance. And
there's just a lot of parts to it.
There's a lot of parts to it. And you have to learn all those steps. But once you have all those steps, I think it's what Aaron said a minute ago, it becomes very accessible because none of it's super complex if you're understanding the basics of magic. But I think you're right, Adam. I think it is intermediate. I don't think it's a beginner's thing.
Well,
but it's a way to get to intermediate if you are a beginner.
The problem we've discussed in Magic many years is that there's hardly anything. There's basically self-working stuff and the kind of stuff we teach in 3M, which is really calibrated to be for people who are just starting out and want to learn sleight of hand. But there virtually isn't anything that's not intermediate after that. So why this is an intermediate thing is because there's a lot of stuff in it, but none of this stuff becomes a major stumbling block. Like there's no, as you're going through those sequences and learning those sequences, you don't come to a thing where you just have to bail out because you can't go forward. You know what I mean? I would say it's intermediate magic in the very best, most accessible sense.
I saw him there at least twice in that routine, drop a double to the table, you know, with no fear at all, right? And it wasn't casually, yeah. And he was doing a lot of 4 as 3, you know, turning these cards over 1 at a time in his hands where he's got, you know, he's holding a double and he had it looking very, you know, very much like
that stuff is hard to do with confidence, but it's not like literally hard to do. Like dropping that double, he's moving at such a pace. There's a lot of ways to cover anything that slips up in that sequence. But it's not just like you're not just disqualified because of some pass or something. You know what I mean? You do it with confidence. And there's a lot of it there. There's also little ways you can substitute in and out and get those things, get around the little things he's got you doing. Like one of the best things the thing that stuck out, he does the thing with the double and he drops it and then he goes to the single and then he gets to the last single and the single he snaps. But there's a way that he did it where there was no energy on the double, but there was all the energy on the single. And it was just, that's why it ends up looking so magical. And that's the part that I think is going to take anyone some time to get. Steve.
I just want to ask a question just because I don't know the answer. What we're watching here, how far along is this in JC Wagner's career? Like, did he have 20 years after this or?
Sure. Yeah, it was probably 25 years.
Before it. He had at least 25 years before it.
So this spot, we're seeing him after being in the bar, you know, doing magic for 25 years.
He's a pro, and these videos are to promote that book, Commercial Magic. This is like the video companion to that book, right? So it's so you can see what the stuff is supposed to look like in actual performance. So it's JC at his sharpest for sure. I have footage of him after this, like maybe 10 years after this, 15 years after this, and not as sharp.
So this is at the height of.
This is height of his powers. Yeah, I would say in terms of what's captured in footage, right?
Let's check out another one.
Yeah, let's do it.
That Marianne, we had a question. What was the name of that routine? That's called Queen Backfire. Is that right, Alex?
I think that's what it's called. I put that in just as a title, just as a placeholder. I'll have it in a minute. By the time the next clip is done, I'll know the title.
Okay, yeah, we'll get back to you. By the way, we have a bunch of people in chat, so thank you for being here, guys. Hi, Christoph. Hi, Ethan. Glad you guys are all here. Let's check out this next one is a plot that everybody's very familiar with. I haven't seen this yet. I haven't seen JC's Out of This World. So this is going to be interesting to see how
it's really one of the best handlings of Out of This World that exist, in my opinion. Even if there's an aspect of it where he sort of predicts the future in it, and that I think can come and go. But otherwise, I think that the actual handling of this is one of the strongest ways that you can do Out of This World, and it's just a killer. It's a little bit longer, but it's totally worth it because it's just such a clean handling. It seems like nothing happens.
With that, knowing you as well as I do now, let's try something here a little bit here. I'm going to make a prediction.
Let me try that one more time.
One more time.
One more time. Here we go. All right.
With that, knowing you as well as I do now, let's try something here a little bit here. I'm going to make a prediction, okay, of something that may happen, okay? Let me see. We'll make a prediction here. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. She's going to be tough. I got a feeling here, folks. Yeah, I don't want that one. I'm going to take this one here. This is a prediction I'll have, all right? Now, what I'd like you to do is to cut the deck approximately in half for me, would you? Sure. Okay. Oh, that's approximately in half. You can put a few more on top if you want there. Very good, very good. Now, it's your choice. Which half do you want me to use? This half here, okay? So that from this half, all I'm going to simply do is remove a red card and a black card, okay? And when in fact, I'm going to set those out of the way. From these, the half you chose, I'm going to hold up cards. And whatever you feel is a red card or a black card, I will place it on the corresponding indicator card. In other words, if I hold up a card and you say it's red, I will place it with a red. If you say it's black, I'll place it with a black. Does that sound like fun? Okay. All right. This is where we get to test the woman's intuition and so forth. All right. So we'll give it a shot here and give it a try. Right here. I'll tell you what. I'll hold up this one here. What do you? There's a red one, so I'll put it on the red. Okay. Let's jump over here and what do you think that one is?
Another red.
That's another red. All right. And I'll jump down here and what would you say that one is?
Black.
That's a black one. Okay. She's doing real well, folks. She really is.
Red.
A red one. That goes with the red. Very good.
This is great.
Black.
A black. That goes with the black. This one.
Black.
Uh-huh. Have you done this before?
No. Red.
I can tell. She has never done this before. You got to see this mess down here. Oh, we'll try it anyway. You never know. All right. We got another one here.
Black.
A black. Okay. And let's see. Let's get another one down here. How about this one here? You sure? That's good. That's good. That's a black one. No, it's a black one. You did all right. Let's try it again. Let's see. How about this one?
Red.
Yeah, that's red. It goes there. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I'll try this one right on top.
Another red.
You're going to miss a few. Well, you don't get them all right, but you're going to miss one. I'll tell you what. You're doing really well here. You really are, honest to gosh. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch this around here. I'm going to put black here, okay? And in this case, we'll put red here, all right? So that you won't be confused, I'll square these up and we'll just do this here. Now, sometimes they think if I'm doing this, I might be controlling it. But I wouldn't cheat, would I? You guys have seen me before, I can tell. So I tell you what, I want you to take these cards, Linda, all right? I want you to mix them up so that you don't even know the colors. I couldn't possibly know the colors of the cards and so forth, all right? Just cut them or shuffle them, whatever, okay? Oh, no, not that way. No. Face down. Yeah, face down. Yeah, if you see them, it's cheating. That's okay. All right, are you satisfied?
Almost went south there, huh?
Very good. Now, I'm going to let you hold the cards. You're going to do the deal, all right? So there's no confusion. I'll square these up like this. What I'd like you to do is to deal what you think is a red card here and what you think is a black card here. It's going to be your choice. But you deal them face down, because if you do it face up, then it won't mean a thing. Okay? You deal it face down now. Black over there. Okay, good. That's good. Red over here. Mm-hmm. She's doing
All the
great.
way through the.
Yeah, you're going to deal all the way through, but you're doing fine, no problem. Yeah. That's okay. Very good, very good. Red.
He's rushing her along as much as he can without being
And
forceful.
wait a minute,
Huh?
let me check this right here
Yeah.
for a second. Yeah, that's good. That's
Out of
fine.
this world in
I
professional.
just want to double check to
situations.
make sure, you know.
Exactly.
It's the problem.
Red. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll get to the gold.
Well, wait a minute, wait. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Yeah, see, that's a red. That goes over here.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. Fantastic. All right. Now, wasn't that fun?
Yes.
All right, super. Now, what we're going to do is this, so that you don't think there's anything funny or cheeky peeky or hanky and so forth. I'm going to let you have this packet here. I want you to follow along with me. Just turn it over like this. Okay? Take the indicator card and put it on the bottom. Right? Just on the bottom, yeah. That's good. Now, from here on down, it should be all black cards. You spread them out and see how you did. Well, it's not bad. You missed one over here. Let me see how you... Well, you got these all right, though. Well, that's good. Take the indicator card, put it on the bottom. Now, these should be all red. Oh, you missed one here, too. Oh, you missed one over there, too? That's okay. That's okay. Look, let me see here. You missed a total of what? 3? 1, 2, 3 misses out of approximately half the cards, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. But you remember I put a prediction here? Before we start, I thought you might have problems with this particular experiment, but you did pretty good separating the reds from the blacks. But I also put a prediction here. You have 1, 2, 3 misses. That's exactly what my prediction is. It's 3.
Okay. There is layers on layers. That's like kind of like watching what's the movie where it's the dream within a dream within a dream?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's no-
like Kaiser Soze or Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
Inception. Yeah.
Except at the end of this, you knew it happened.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you knew what happened here. But there's so many layers of smoke that you can't backtrack and
Yeah.
find out how you got to the end.
No,
It's
and
really good.
that handling where he hands it to the spectator and to let them follow along. I've never seen that before. The way that trick
It is.
starts, like this classic where you're controlling the ones that you're pulling out and laying down. I mean, that is the approach to that trick that I learned from my mentor, and the way that I've always performed it is in that manner. Because you could do it with the shuffled deck, you could do it with an impromptu deck. But there was more going on here. He's got so many layers added in there. Is that sort of like a JC Wagner invention? Is that his original sort
I
of?
think what it is it's the core of it is UF Grant's out of this world routine, and then JC added all those layers of smoke that you're talking about that makes it feel like a dream within a dream. That's
The wrong
what JC
cards
brought
and
to it.
the wrong cards is his in the prediction.
Yeah. But that handling of the indicator cards and the way you have the spectator deal at the end, that's UF Grant's core routine. That really is sort of a bulletproof thing, but I think what you say is totally true. That extra layer on top of it, it just makes everything just sort of blend into a dream. There's no way to know how anything happened at any point. It's really a solid version of that trick.
Well, you know what kind of shocks me too is that Aaron, how do you feel about this trick in the real world? Like doing this trick out for people?
Well, I feel like there are times, we talked yesterday about how JC was really running the social bar, and that when you have, I think tricks like David Williamson's Aunt Mary's Terrible Secret, I think there are tricks that take a good long while, and it's totally cool because everyone's hanging out, enjoying the game of watching the magic. And I think that's beautiful, one of those beautiful things about bar magic. I think lots of times magic is a little bit more, has to have a little more pacing. And I think for starters, having a version of this trick where you're bringing it down to 10 or 20 cards is a helpful concept that I think matters in this trick. Because I think Out of This World is one of the strongest tricks in the world, but it's in one of those categories when we talk about beginner magic versus intermediate magic or whatever that means. A lot of the tricks that are like super easy to do and beginner easy to do, well, they're also a little bit more challenging once you put yourself in professional tempo situations. So you can almost feel JC feeling like this is a fun, casual trick, but doing it on the video while he's trying to show it in performance for the sake of a video, you almost feel like he's like, all right, let's keep it moving. Hurry, don't hurry. And like he doesn't have to, half of that isn't there when he really does it. because
you have to be careful. You have to be careful where you place it, right? Because if you're going to put it in a set, it's like, you know, if you compare it to like a big rock show, like a big concert rock show, like that's got to be the ballad, right? You have to have done a bunch of stuff that proves that you're the guy that does the magic stuff, so that you can sort of put the brakes on and give it some air and give it some space, so that you can go into what apparently is mind reading and shared thoughts between you and a spectator, or maybe a couple of spectators. And that needs air around it. That needs space around it for it to be effective. And if you haven't done all that stuff beforehand, people are going to lose interest. And especially in today's climate, you're going to see people pick up their phone and check, you know, their social media or their email. You know what I mean? They have to be with you.
You know what? I see a trick like this works really good, where you've come out, you've done some faster paced things where some really surprising things have happened. And then when you come to this, everyone's like, okay, now there's, you know, they're not thinking this, but they're thinking, now this is something I can watch and pay attention to and figure it out. Right.
And that's
and it actually gets their attention more. What's that?
I said, and that's how you play it, right? I mean,
exactly.
You have to use every trick's, a lot of things, their strong point is their weak point, right? You from Krypton, therefore the rock from Krypton is your kryptonite. You know what I mean? So it's what makes you fly, but it's also your danger. So out of this world has got its potential problem is how long it takes before the thing happens. If you can't figure out how to use it to your benefit, the trick is going to have a problem. One of the things about this trick is a famous story about this trick. I forget the name of the magician, but during the Battle of Britain, when the Nazis are bombing London relentlessly, Winston Churchill was famous for one weekend. He was at Chequers, I think, where he went for the weekend. Some magician was invited and showed him out of this world. And he stopped everything while he was drinking cognac and brandy and smoking cigars, and made this magician repeat this trick for him, for hours, right? Because he just was like, marvelous. Let's see it again. Again.
Cognac. Give me another cognac.
You know, bring in my daughter. You know?
No, normally if someone says do that again, you're like, no, we can't do that. But if it's Winston Churchill, what are you going to do?
And he's choosing to spend his moment being mentally engaged when he's not trying to figure out how to defend the Western world. You know, he's doing it trying to puzzle out this conjurer.
Power of a good card trick, man.
You know, or Adam once said about Winston Churchill, out of this world was his magic, Gallipoli.
That's right.
You know, fool Churchill.
You know, the one thing that
was doing that. That's how he would present it.
The one thing I had happen one time on this trick, though, and it was probably poor spectator management, but I was doing a version of this exact same trick, and someone just refused to call out the other color. So they just kept saying black, 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 you know, and some 50% of the time it wouldn't be a problem, but that time it was a problem. So you definitely want to make sure you have a spectator who is, you know, going to help.
You're supposed to say to the people up front, like, there's a couple things with this trick. The first thing you can say is, A, this is an experiment to see if we can do something together. So if you're not into wanting it to work, I promise it won't. Second, 50% of the cards are black. 50% of the cards are red. They're shuffled. So you want to keep track in your mind. And like, if you can't get them to buy in, if a person is giving you the stink eye, like, I'm going to mess you up, you just stop and be like, listen, you've messed you up and you already succeeded. If you don't want to participate in the experiment and see what it would feel like if we could actually, you know, be in each other's minds for a moment, stand aside, let someone else participate. You know, you can be as boring as you were when I got here.
Oh,
and I think it's also a function of having something that hits them so hard before you do this trick that you've already established credibility. Like, if you come into a room and, like, you know, you just do out of this world, it's probably going to be a tough sell. But if you come in and you just, you know, beat everyone down with some amazing magic, and now you say, all right, now you shuffle them. Let's try something that's not magic and go into this. I think it's a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? I think that it's the power of the opener, right? If you come out with a great opener that makes people like you, you do something amazing, they like you, they think it's going to be fun. Then when you get to something like this, they're like backing down. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, you know, and obviously it doesn't work 100% of the time.
Couple interesting things here. One, George Madrid just said he had a spectator start alternating red, black, but George, right, is you know, a big brain at Google. So he hangs out with big brains at Google. So when you hang out with a big brain at Google and you do this trick, that person knows deeply that statistics don't work that way. Like it's an assumption that everybody is making together is that statistics don't work, red, black, red, black. So that person's going to be every bit as amazed because they simply know it couldn't possibly work that way. Like it doesn't even enter into it. One quick story about Out of This World, I will say, and then we talk about beginner's magic, is I got into magic in 1992. This was one of the only tricks I could do. And of course, it's different. What Steve's talking about, this is like if you're trying to like be a magician. But if you just started doing magic and your friends and family are watching you do a magic trick, there is no expectation of an opener. Bless your heart.
Yeah, right.
So when I did this for my family, I'd been doing all kinds of ambitious card, whatever I was doing. I did this one trick and it ate them so hard that those same family members, my brother Ethan can tell you about this, will still tell you, they will still say to me at family get-togethers, what about smoke and fire? What do you mean? That trick you did that first year, why can't you do anything that good? So that's how good this trick is. It's worth it, you know?
Oh, that's the best.
It's a whole other, and the other thing is, friends, you can look around this world. There are so many versions of Out of This World. So many ways to do Out of This World. One of the things about it is when I see JC's version, like I never wanted to do JC's version because it always felt to me like it was a bit of a magician's version. It always felt to me like the dream within a dream stuff was, you know, almost like for people who'd seen the trick before, because the trick is so strong and simple to people who haven't seen the trick. Like any of the other versions to me, I mean, I like the idea of having the shuffle deck and going out of my hand, right? That makes a lot of sense to me. But most of the versions out there, including Harry Lorraine's Out of This Universe, like at the end of the day, this trick is like a brickbat. People wait, and if you can get them engaged in it, it hurts them so much. Like you literally, my family still can't forget it. I made the deck disappear, but they're like, but what about, like if I should have done Panic and then pulled out a deck for Out of This World, then they could be happy again.
Yeah. So another let's watch Royal Detectives. This is JC Wagner's take on another great
no.
Hey, Adam, before you move on, I do have an answer to that question from before. That previous routine, it's actually, this version is called Dyslexic Queens, but it looks like this is a routine that JC's been working on and improving. And there's one that's after that called Queen's Soiree. So it looks like just the idea of the queens vanishing, going to a packet, and then going back to their original packets. JC played with that concept a bit. So there's some stuff for you to look at there if you're interested in that plot.
Excellent. All right. This is Royal Detectives. Everybody watch close. This is a really quick one. So it's only a minute and 30
I wonder
seconds.
if this is like a hotel mystery.
It's kind of fun.
Similar.
This is my two royal detectives.
The old thieves and
See,
sheep.
one time they were very hardened criminals, but they're good guys now. Okay. And in this case, this used to be called the Axeman, carried the big axe around and so forth. But
I
he's
get
a
the
good guy
impression
now.
that a lot
And
of
this fellow here was second cousin to Mac
pretty
Knife.
hardened
So a bit
criminals
of a
are
mad-
good guys now, right?
Say that again.
Don't you get the impression a lot of JC's friends used to be hardened criminals, but they're really nice guys now?
Yeah.
It feels like he's got a collection of friends like that. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like he really spent the late 60s, you know, like wearing that vest in different contexts.
That's because he's still getting off, strange fella. The rest of the cards represents the underworld, so we need to have a public enemy number one selected. So I'm going to dribble the cards like this, and Terry, I want you just to call out stop as I dribble, all right?
He's a real nice
This one or
guy.
this one, your choice.
He's gay.
Yeah, this one here. That's public enemy number one. Show him around so everybody's a witness.
Who's that Flavor
Okay, now
Flav?
lay him face down on any one of the two kings. Real good. So now we have him under custody. All right, in between our kings. So we have king number one, selected card, and of course king number two. And I want you to look, watch, and listen, because what he's going to do is make his escape back in the underworld. Do me a favor, put your fingertip and press down. Okay? You're going to feel a bump in just a second now. 1, 2, 3, face down, in between our kings. Here comes the bump right about now. Did you feel the bump?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did.
Point of
She's
departure.
crazier than I thought she was. Lift your finger, Terry. Lift your finger.
Nice
Yeah, it
bump.
sticks out like a sore thumb right there, the old 5 of clubs. Yeah. Now, you know, I had a fella here that came in here the other night. He says, well, JC, if he doesn't turn face up, what do you do? I said, well, you don't have anything to worry about. They have what they call undercover agents. And of course, crime doesn't pay, and you wouldn't got very far. It's one of those things.
That's a
That-
great,
Hey, y'all.
That's a great trick. Huh?
that's
Yeah.
a great trick. I'm thinking I got to learn that one. That's
It's
a
one
good one.
departure, man. Like
Yeah.
don't you love the way that JC says underworld? Like he doesn't say criminal underworld. And I didn't know whether he was getting ready to talk about Cthulhu or something. These guys come up from the underworld. I thought he was about to do some like bizarre Tony Andruzzi, but he just meant like, the underworld over by
No.
out by Encino, where we used to, where me and the Angels used to get popped on a Saturday. Just for
giving
having
you-
a bike rally.
Just giving you enough to let your imagination run. That's it.
All right. You guys like point of departure? I think it's one of the awesomest tricks.
I think it's a great trick. I love it.
I
I've
was
played
so
with a few versions in my day.
I was so happy that there's one built into the club deck. It was like one of the biggest excitements that we got that opposite card, point of departure, other color. It was like, yeah, that's the trick I always wanted to do. So happy. It's got that vanish in it. Y'all see that vanish?
Yeah.
It's got this vanish, like where you had like 2 red aces with like the selection in between, right? Where he does this whole thing of Alex Emsley. It's like one of the easiest. I mean, this is what we mean when we say it's not hard to do. It's not really that hard to do. It's a lot easier than Emsley count. And it looks magical and great. And the card just vanishes. You know what I mean? It's just heavenly.
It's just another one of those ones where you just got to learn those dance steps, right? Just learn the sequence of all those moves. It is a little dance, right? There are a couple moves you have to do, but if you put those things together, what a honey of a routine, right? That's just so good, man. Great,
Brought to you
easy
by-
to follow.
Brought to you by the CC Club Deck.
No,
Now
I'd like
available on
to
Kickstarter.
say one thing here. Young Ethan Ross, who we've got a club deck pool going that Ethan Ross may be a 47-year-old man in a teenager's body. It's possible. It's possible. But I would just like to say, at this point, we're not plugging the club deck. Everyone in the club has the deck. But what we are doing is letting everybody in the club know how much they got in their deck, which is not, that's not plugging, Now, when I say the campaign's still going on for a week and you should go now, that's totally plugging.
That's a plug.
You
Let's
know
be
what else
clear.
though? I can say this for myself, and I'm sure you guys agree. I'm genuinely excited about it. It is. I hate to even say this because it implies that I didn't believe in the beginning, but it's better than I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it.
All right, hang on a second. That felt like a plug.
Please have one.
That
Sounds
felt like a
plug.
plug.
Yeah, that felt like a plug.
It felt like a plug.
I totally thought.
Testimonial plug.
I totally
My
thought.
name's Steve Barcelona. I only use CC Club.
I totally thought it was going to suck, but then when they arrived, I was like, these don't suck at all.
I know that's kind of what it sounded like. What I
It's a
said.
good plug, right?
Don't use that in the video. Don't use
I was going to say definitely don't buy this, but now I'm thinking
Yeah.
you should probably
Yeah,
not buy it.
Maybe.
I was ready
Maybe
to,
you like it.
when they ran it up the flagpole, I was ready to salute. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, I was just realizing about what you said, Steve, that, breathers normally never die, but with the CC Club deck,
You want to put one in every time you perform, right?
No,
yeah, you want to
Lord.
put it in just to watch it like vanish. I was thinking about just like, hey, everybody, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to just put a mild, don't say the word crimp. It's like Alex and I are probably the kind of guys that never used the word indicator card
Mhm.
until we watched JC Wagner. And then we began using the word indicator card on a regular basis. I still have the bit in my show where I'll be like, the 10 of hearts. And they'll be like, no. And I'll be like, this is an indicator card. It
Mhm.
indicates that you should have hired Shoot Agawa.
Do
You know?
you know what
But,
happened to me?
No.
I put a corner short in this card. It came
Oh.
back.
It grew back.
It came back.
It grew back.
It
That's
grew
what-
back
That's what happens when you spend some time in the underworld.
like a lizard regenerating its tail. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Wow. Like a serpent regenerating and eating its own tail over and over again
Came
in
back.
the underworld. In the
Blown away.
seedy Simi Valley underworld.
Felt like an alien invasion. Weird.
Why is George Madrid talking about grinding? What does he mean?
You
Oh,
didn't see it?
Steve, you didn't see
didn't see the
Steve
video?
Barcelona making his corner short on the grinder?
You didn't see
Grinding
that video?
corner down?
It
You
was
didn't,
really
see, you
good.
didn't see the video, dude.
You guys.
Let me see if I can find it really fast.
You guys.
Where did I do that on Instagram?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
It
was
is
pretty
so much
funny.
fun to watch us people do. What is Instagram? Someone said to me last night, you can get messages on Instagram? Put a 1 in the chat if you're in CC Club, which is a different demographic than Instagram Prime traditionally. If you did not know, you could get messages on Instagram, private messages. Right on, Edmund. See?
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
crazy, man.
I want to see Edmund's bumper with that big steal your face sticker on it. I just want
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
You should take a picture of it everywhere you go and just get a collection of them. Here's me at the grocery.
Here, let me share this real quick. May I?
Here's Ethan at the
please.
beach.
Here, this is
Here's Ethan at the beach.
here's Ethan at the beach. Man, I hope I don't. Let me see this now. We want to be on this screen. Okay, let's see if it works.
I still haven't figured out how to
Guys,
shape something that
see
got
that?
feed.
you see-
Yeah, we got it.
There we go.
Wow, those cards are powerful.
It's so funny. I think it's funny as hell.
That's like literally a funkin' card.
Yeah,
And then it grew back.
and then it grows back.
My God, that is made out of some adamantium.
Admit unobtainium.
Like, do you realize that if Ricky Jay were still here, remember Ricky Jay used to do cards as weapons and he used to
Yeah.
penetrate the outer pachydermis hide of a watermelon from across the stage? I feel like this is exactly the kind of thing he would have loved.
He's been waiting for this card his whole life. Too
It's
bad.
so exciting. That is so exciting. Like, I wonder if Ricky Jay asked for a casket made out of premium B crushed stock.
It's possible. Could happen.
It's biodegradable, you know, it's very good, especially, you know, for Hebrew guys like Ricky Jay, you know, you want a nice biodegradable casket, you know. We have a friend, Adam and I, who's in the mortuary business. And apparently, we were using the word coffin, and he was a little offended because, you know,
A
when
coffin.
I'm thinking of coffin, that's like what they put Morgan Freeman in the Unforgiven. You know, the modern thing is a casket, you know, but a coffin is like very.
No, you guys put it to me when I said coffin. I said something like, "Oh, so he's in the coffin business." You both went, "No. A coffin is shaped like a diamond. A casket is what you're talking about."
Yeah, 5 points. It has 5 sides.
The coffin is good if you're going to be getting up every night to take a stroll in search of human flesh in the underworld, or if you know they have to build one for you to spec down at the old general store in Deadwood Gulch.
So they don't. The coffin is not a thing that's used anymore. The coffin like went out like in the 1800s, right?
No, it's like the hinged box that you're talking about is a casket, you know, and it's a major improvement.
When did the casket become prevalent? Is my question.
I assume it was sometime after the death of the Old West, where coffins were prominently featured, if only because they look groovy.
I don't know. Somebody should look it up. Somebody Wikipedia that and let us know. Let's watch one more.
One
Jason.
more trick. One
not sure.
more trick.
This
one
next
more
trick might be a little politically incorrect, and I
Oy
apologize.
vey, but this is
It is, but it's one of those ones where he's the butt of the joke.
All right.
Buddha.
Just know that we don't mean to offend you. If this offends you,
If this offends you, you can rest assured I'm also offended.
all right.
Just
Here we
like
go.
this bow-legged woman and her knock-kneed man.
Here we go.
I'm afraid.
One
of
more
what
here
could
I'm going to
happen
show
now.
you, which is kind of fun. This is have you ever seen a marked deck before?
Oh,
You know what a marked deck is. That's why you can read
John.
the backs and so forth. This is my Polish marked deck. I'm so proud of it. I mark it so I don't get it confused with the rest of them. It says Polish marked deck. Because I'm Polish. You know, I have to really do this. Anyway, this is what happens. Look, very simply this. A marked deck of cards is naturally, you can always see the faces and so forth. It has nothing to do with it. In fact,
They
when you shuffle the
naturally or
cards this way,
nationally?
you'll notice the faces change, but the backs don't. It's a curious phenomenon. I'm still working on it. Faces will change and the backs don't. One of these days I'll figure it out. You know. But we need to have a card selected. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. Lee, I'll shuffle the cards. You say stop. Stop. All right, I want you to look at this card and show it around if you like. Let them all see what it is. Okay, you won't forget that card, right? I'm going to take your card. I promise I won't look at the markings in the back because that would be rather obvious if I did. So we give them a cut like so. That's one. And Linda, I'll shuffle again. You say stop.
Stop.
That's very good. I want you to look at your card. Show it around to your right. Let them all see what it is. Okay. Good card. All right, and we'll sit yours back in the pack like, that's a good one too. Okay, now, the object naturally is to relocate those cards, right? And the way the Poles devised this was very similar to what I did before you. This is the Polish slop shuffle, face up and face down, all right? So we give the cards a little shuffle, first of all, like this, which naturally leaves some of the cards are up, and of course some of the cards are down, right? So in this case, what I'm going to do is give them a second shuffle, because you got to do at least 2 shuffles in this particular effect, all right? So in this case, gosh, where am I at here? All right, here we go. No problem. I'm Polish. I can get away with it. Second shuffle's rather tight.
Perils of natural break life, y'all.
Once you get it in there and give it a cut like so, it still gives you some of the cards are up and some of the cards are down and some of the cards are up. But all you have to do is press the button. It straightens all the cards out so they face the same way, just like so. Oh, I missed one here. Excuse me. And another one here. Yeah, I think that's yours, and I think that's yours. Did I get your card? That's your card, sir? And that's your card? Yeah, we got it. So
We'll wait for it.
now, I told you these cards were marked, didn't I? I wasn't lying to you. They really are. See, these cards here are marked a little bit differently than these, as you can see. The difference in the cards, marked and so forth. But you guys can check those markings out, make sure they're okay, and so forth. It's all right. Yeah, you notice the marking here. What's that say?
6 of diamonds.
Yeah, really, that's the 9 of clubs. See, it's a Polish marking system. You check them out. Hope you folks enjoyed that magic. And thanks for coming to the bar. Hey, all right.
It's pretty innocuous.
Yeah. Wasn't you know, but that man, you saw that out of all the stuff we watched for JC, like that got the biggest reaction, that color change. Got the biggest reaction. Like when you end like that, I mean, when you're like boom, boom, and the deck is red, it doesn't get any stronger than that, man.
He's old school. He believed in doing a lot of magic before busting out the old color changing deck, you know.
And then he'd bust out the rabbits and go, man, I do all the work. I can load it under a glass, and then the rabbits. That's the thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
You just got to understand how it really plays, man. That's just how it is, you know.
That's how it is.
That's how it goes.
So that if you learned anything today, know that you need to get yourself some rabbits.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Well, I think that concludes our 2-day session on JC Wagner. We will move on to another great in Magic, but definitely hope you guys enjoyed today's Afternoon Astonishment, and do us a favor, hit like on this video. That tells YouTube we're doing a good job. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You'll be notified when we go live with new magic videos, which we do, I believe, 3 times a week. By the way, if you've never tried out a proper magic club, come over and check out Conjuror Community. We're pretty much the coolest magic club in the world. All right. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you next time on Afternoon Astonishment.
Goodbye.